Joe Holbrook here, the Cloud Tech Guy. I'm glad you're here because if you're new to the world of tech, or you've even been in tech just a few years, you're probably wondering what would be the next step to really elevate my career, or have a potential career for that matter, in technology. Now, I've been in the IT industry for over 25 years, and I can tell you right now, I don't really understand a lot that's going on. It seems like we have a lot of changes going on. Some of it makes sense, some of it doesn't. But in this video, I want to talk about really the 3 tech roles that if I was going to start over, I would consider to really have an avenue into the world of technology. Let's go ahead and get started with the video. There's no question that the hiring that's been happening for new grads has really been almost non-existent. And there's plenty of articles, I'll put up a few here and there, that really go through this. The reality is that if you're a computer science graduate, information systems, any form of engineering for that matter, chances are that you're not getting in the front door. So what do we have to do if you want to get into tech? You have that shiny degree and you want to pay for it somehow. You're not going to get in the front door because you can only fit so many people through that front door. And that door, for that matter, is closed in a lot of these companies. So what you have to do is get in the side door. That side door is the emergency exit. Companies will open up the side door when they have to. And right now, there's 3 areas that I still see the ability for someone to get into a company through the side door. So let's talk about those 3 roles. The first way to get in the side door right now is going to be a focus around AI and machine learning, right? This is no surprise to anyone, I'm sure. Right now, companies are hiring like crazy in this area. They can't find enough skilled engineers. Now, the reality is that AI is a wide area. Machine learning is an even wider area as well. And so if you're able to focus your studies in that area, that's great. And you want to get into that area, that's even better right now. So for example, the projections I saw, I believe from the World Economic Forum, was that the projects around AI are going to contribute about $15 trillion by 2030 to the global economy. That's a lot of money. And so you will be in demand for the foreseeable future if you're good at what you're doing. Now, think of an AI engineer as really the person that builds the systems, the brains behind the technology really, that we are going to be using every day. So that could be everything from a generative AI app to a more transparent app that is used by a corporation for hiring practices. Or it could be a business-to-business AI service, whatever that is. Now, for example, you could really consider starting out with Python because that is clearly the main language in demand right now. But you could also focus on JavaScript and other areas and then work your way up to different libraries, for example. And so most of the job postings, though, are definitely listing Python. And so get into the frameworks that build off of that, like, for example, TensorFlow, PyTorch, right? These are just some of the obvious starting points if you want to get into AI or ML. And lastly, as far as salary, the range for an AI ML engineer could be $100,000 to start, $120,000 to start, and then at the larger tech companies, it could be even higher. The number 2 way to get into the side door is going to be through cybersecurity. Okay, I know that this is probably a little bit obvious still, but there's a twist. That twist is not to go the traditional route. The twist is to really dive into data and focus areas such as AI, ML, blockchain, and fintech. The real demand is really in those areas right now. The reality is that some of the numbers with, for example, cybersecurity demand, in my opinion and from my experience, and I'm not the only one that even says this, you can view it on YouTube and all these other sites like LinkedIn, is that the cybersecurity demand projections are grossly overstated. But again, take it however you want to take it. And I'm going to put up the link here to what the WEF, the World Economic Forum, says about cybersecurity demand. According to them, there's a shortage of 4 million cybersecurity professionals. And there may be a shortage of 4 million, but I can tell you right now, companies aren't hiring that at all. It's not even coming close. There's a lot of cyber pros that can't get a job for 2 or 3 years at a time right now. But if you have experience in threat mitigation, you have experience in AI and ML, blockchain, fintech, and also other areas as well on handling like a breach, this is an area that gets you in the side door. But if you're entry level with just a security plus or cybersecurity analyst certification, it's just going to be a tough time. There's just nothing I can say that'll make you feel better. Okay, so the reality is that in the US, the pay level for a cybersecurity analyst to start could be $75,000 to about $95,000. Now, I will say, with my experience in the US federal sector, that pay range could be $120,000 to $150,000 with the right security clearances. Now, that is an area, though, if you get out of the military, you have security clearance, and you get into IT security, you can make 6 figures to start pretty much overnight, especially in like the DC area. Okay, to break in, though, here's what you need to do. You have to really understand threat detection. You have to understand SIEMs, that's security event monitoring, right? You also have to look at as well different areas of how threats and breaches can occur around data. Data is really the gold mine that companies have. And you as a cybersecurity analyst need to protect that data. The number 3 way to get into the side door of a company right now is going to be through cloud computing. Now, a cloud engineer is probably going to be the main entry point for most people to get into the cloud. And a cloud engineer is really going to be the person that maintains the cloud service for the company. In other words, you're going to be provisioning resources. You're going to be managing security. You're going to be taking calls all night and day a lot of the times. And again, just be aware a cloud engineer in a lot of companies is a very high stress role. However, if you're able to do a good job in this area and understand all the parts and pieces that go into a cloud deployment, such as IAM, such as virtual machines and network, and now AI as well is a big deal. And if you go look, and I'll put up an example here, where AI is a requirement for this role, and one of many roles for that matter, where you have to be able to deploy AI services in the cloud. Now, the thing about cloud right now is a lot of companies do have a cloud first requirement. In other words, deploy in the cloud unless if there's a reason we can't deploy in the cloud. In other words, that's another way to say we don't want to invest in our organization by having our own equipment and people local. We're going to just deploy in the cloud because it's lower overhead. We use OpEx instead of CapEx. Now, one of the things about cloud computing, which is an area I'm very familiar with, and it is a big area though right now if you can get into the security side as well. So if you're able to get certified AWS security or Google or Azure, that can give you that leverage as well to get into the side door right now. Okay, so the pay rate for cloud can vary quite a bit. I'm going to be very honest. The range will vary based on what site you go to, LinkedIn, or you go to Glassdoor or Indeed. But typically the range is going to be from about 80,000 to about 120,000 for a cloud engineer. I will say that Azure cloud engineers do seem to have more demand right now. The reality is that most of the cloud engineers are AWS. And with Google Cloud, there really isn't much demand for Google. And it's, of course, the third, least deployed cloud out there. And if I was going to focus today, here's what I would do. I would spend a couple hours a week deploying different cloud services in AWS and Azure. The reason is because AWS roles are certainly out there. It's just that there's so many more people that know AWS right now. And the roles for Azure seem to fill a lot quicker because there just isn't a lot of people right now. Okay, so the range, again, could be anywhere from 80 to 120. Now, lastly, you definitely need to understand AI. I had mentioned that earlier. I would also recommend you dive into security as well, practice security.
Cloud InterviewACE is a hybrid online training and coaching program with a professional community mentored by industry veteran Joe Holbrook, the cloud tech guy, a pre-post-sales guru in cloud computing. Save yourself not only thousands of dollars, but also possibly years of preparation in this progressively more challenging saturated job market by signing up for Cloud InterviewACE. Don't risk your career on an interview without proper preparation. Taught by industry experts in both cloud engineering and cloud development with coaching by the cloud tech guy who will spend hours coaching and mentoring you one-on-one. Learn to pass the technical and soft skills interviews questions from the basics to advanced topics covering cloud pre-sales architecture, post-sales focused objectives such as cloud deployment, cloud design, cloud engineering, migrations, connectivity, and more. Cloud InterviewACE will also provide you value with resume tips, preparation strategy, how to avoid common mistakes, mock interviews, technical deep dives, must-know tips, offer negotiation, and also, very importantly, whiteboarding designs. AWS, GCP, and Azure cloud platforms will be covered. This can change your world, so what are you waiting for? Let's get started.
So there you have it, the top 3 ways to get into the side door when it comes to getting that tech role you've been thinking about. Whether it's AI, or security, or cloud computing, these roles are in demand. And one of the things about tech is that it evolves, it gets bigger, the demand changes. Right now is a great time to consider one of those 3 options when it comes to getting that new tech role in 2025. And for that matter, probably 2026 as well. Now, if you found this helpful, please do hit the like button and also subscribe as well for new updates. And if you're interested as well in any of these roles, please do put in the comments below what role you'd like to learn about. And if there's anything I can do to help, please put in the comments as well.